John Fitzgerald Kennedy is a man who doesn't have to serve in World War II, and yet he does. He's a man who earns the Purple Heart during the Second World War and carries that Purple Heart into the White House and serves as a president of the United States. At the outset of the Second World War, John F. Kennedy joins the United States Navy. JFK's naval service began in naval intelligence. He gets himself transferred and eventually into the PT boats, into a place where you're going to get shot at and you might die.
In World War II, the PT boats were small, very fast boats, and they would go after very large vessels and try to hit them with these torpedoes.
To put this into perspective, as far as the size disparity between these boats, you're looking at a Japanese destroyer, which is 300 feet long, versus little patrol torpedo boats, which had 12 people on it and were only 80 feet long.
In August of 1943, U.S. military forces were still fighting the Japanese in the Solomon Islands. Kennedy's torpedo boat squadron had moved into positions at night.
It's 2:30 in the morning, and PT-109 gets rammed by a Japanese destroyer. Overboard, everybody goes, and they're about 3 miles away from the shore.
The destroyer basically slices it in half. 2 of the crewmen are killed outright, and the rest are basically floundering in the water. With almost no hesitation, Jack Kennedy takes control of this awful, chaotic, terrible tragedy.
One of the crew members was so badly burned that he couldn't swim, so Kennedy had to take a strap from a life preserver, put it like a bit in his mouth, and then swim with this guy trailing behind.
After they reach that island, there's recognition for the fact that they can't stay there because there's no food, no fresh water on that island, and also Japanese patrol ships are out by day and they have to hide from them. He eventually reaches one island where he writes a message on a coconut. Then he gives it to a native who then passes it on to the Navy. The Navy ultimately, after 6 days, comes in and rescues them all.
Just like that, out of nowhere, very quickly and violently, commences the episode that would launch Jack Kennedy into superstardom and eventually all the way to the White House.
JFK eventually rode those Pacific waves to the Oval Office and to a perfect 20 out of 20 from our panel of experts.